Opposition leader Ranil Wickremesinghe stated in Parliament today that the chair had been unfair by him yesterday.
When
Tirunalas made a statement about me yesterday, we were in a select committee. When a select committee is in session, you can speak twice or even thrice. This was not done. I asked the chair for an opportunity to respond to statements made about me. We did not receive this opportunity. What I am asking you now is that you look into whether what transpired here yesterday was fair. Second, time allocations for each group are made by the Chief Government Whip and the Chief Opposition Whip. No, we had allocated time for Tirunalas and there was no problem there. However, afterwards the chair extended this time by 5 minutes. You cannot take this away from the time given to the opposition. Because we had given a certain time frame and he did not ask for more, he went ahead without approval. I was also made to exchange words with him. I apologize if I wronged you through this. Nevertheless, the question here now is whether the traditions and rights of this chamber were protected yesterday.
I did not extend the time as accused by the leader of the opposition. The time was allotted to DNA and the DNA leader in the house wrote to me, I have got the paper, to give him 5 minutes more. So it's a wrong information, the leader of the house. He can't accuse. And the other thing is, he wanted the point of order allowed. After that, he was attacking that member concern, which is against the standing order. Which is, I called him to order.
Staying in news from the House of Legislation, United National Party parliamentarian Dr. Harsha De Silva questioned the use of funds from the Employees Provident Fund in trading activities at the Colombo Stock Exchange in Parliament today.
Because Honourable Minister, you know very well, the 2011 annual report of the EPF has still not been presented to this House. Still not been presented to this House. And this is 1 trillion rupees of workers' savings.
Now the report is with the Ministry of Finance, but today I took the liberty of tabling that even before it is published.
I have asked for 3,297 purchases and 1,253 sales. You are giving me one summary document. That is not what we have asked for.
No.
And if this is not the place to ask, where is the place to ask?
Honourable Speaker, may I suggest this? We have absolutely nothing to hide. In good faith, I have given all the information, which I must say in fairness to the Honourable Member, he has not had the time to peruse.
Speaking in Parliament yesterday, Tamil National Alliance parliamentarian E. Sarvanabavan raised concerns about the issues faced by fishermen in the north.
Most of the northern coastal areas were under the control of Navy, but one could identify the fishermen were not encouraged or they were not permitted. Even today, the pass system is existing, and one has to realize our fishermen can do a better production output if they are permitted freely.
UNP parliamentarian Ravi Karunanayake tabled the adjournment motion in Parliament today. Parliamentarian Karunanayake questioned the Minister of Petroleum Industries, Susil Premajantha, on why the award made against the government in the arbitration process between Deutsche Bank and the government in the hedging deal could not be tabled in Parliament.
Please provide the information the following. Table Deutsche Bank arbitration award. What is the total impact and how is it going to be paid? What are the other cases pending? Who is held responsible for this, which has placed the country in a huge debacle?
It can be tabled the appropriate time.
Why
now?
Why is it
that is because we can file petition. The same institution we can file the petition until the 28th of February.
Yeah, Honourable Minister,
my good friend, it is I am advised by Attorney General Department, the arbitral award is confidential unless both parties agree to its publication. So, in the International Centre for Settlement of Investment Disputes has sought the views of the parties on the publication of the award.
How do I have a copy?
No, this is of course that I have been advised, and neither party has so far responded to this request.
Well, Honourable
so this
Deputy Speaker,
cannot be tabled
you are an eminent lawyer.
by me or by you.
Yeah, you are a lawyer. All I want to know is why can't you make a award that has been made against the taxpayers and the country, Sri Lanka? You don't need to hide this.
Yesterday, we commenced a new segment in collaboration with our website www.newsfirst.lk. The views expressed by 3 selected individuals and aired on last night's news have been posted on our website. Of the 3 speakers, whose opinion do you like the most? You could visit www.newsfirst.lk and vote.
The best cut. Make your choice now.
ආණ්ඩු පැත්තෙන් 7 දෙනයි විපක්ෂයෙන් 4 දෙනයි. අහන්නෙත් ඒක.
පාර්ලිමේන්තුවේ පඩිය ගන්න ගමන් ආණ්ඩුවේ විශ්‍රාමයෙන් මට හම්බ.
පඩි වැඩි කරේ නැහැ. පඩියට එල්ලුවා. දැන් අද වෙලා තියෙන්නේ පඩියට වැඩිය එල්ලපුවා ලොකු වෙලා තියෙන්නේ.
Vote now for your favorite cut of the day. Log on to www.newsfirst.lk or SMS to BEST space your choice and send it to 7788. For the best cut of the day, watch News First on Sirasa TV at 10 tonight.
The suspects in custody over the assassination of 4 people, including Bharata Lakshman Premachandra, were once again produced before Colombo Additional Magistrate Prasanna Alvis today.
State Counsel Jayantha Veerasinghe, appearing on behalf of the third suspect, Dematakoda Chaminda, told court that there is no progress in the inquiry apart from the case being postponed every day. He also questioned ASP Shania Besekro of the CID as to whom the documents with regard to seeking the Attorney General's advice on the future course of action were handed over to. In response, the ASP of the CID said that the documents were handed over to Attorney at Law Madhava Tennakon at the AG's department on 4 occasions. The suspects were once again remanded until the 4th of December.
Business news tonight. The Sri Lanka Apparel Exporters Association says that the time is ripe to recommence a dialogue on reacquiring the GSP Plus trade concession. They point out that as a result of competitors becoming more competitive with lower costs and duty-free trade concessions, Sri Lankan apparel manufacturers are facing a Herculean task in taking on the competition.
The annual general meeting of the Sri Lanka Apparel Exporters Association was held in Colombo yesterday. Speaking at the event, the new chairman of the association, Johan Lawrence, noted that export income from apparel had declined by 7% as of September this year in comparison with last year.
Competitor nations such as Bangladesh and Cambodia operate from a much lower cost base and also have duty-free access to the EU market. Whilst it may not materialize immediately, even India is in advanced discussions with the EU for a duty-free trade agreement. As our customers continue to chase the cheap needle, countries like Burma are likely to open up shortly, and we need to ensure that we remain competitive in the market. At nearly 40% of our country's exports, I believe our industry has a significant role to play in the growth of the country's economy. And whilst there are calls for increased diversification of the export industry, the apparel industry is here today, contributes in no small manner, and our concerns do need to be addressed.
To revisit the possibility of reapplying for the GSP Plus facility. Based on the progress, the government is more than willing to implement through the LLRC recommendations. The industry supported the difficulties the government will face on the original terms tabled by the EU for the continuation of this facility. But I am sure with the progress made, there is an opportunity now to reopen this conversation, and we hope that due consideration will be given towards the same. The opportunity cost from this loss not only affects our industry, but hundreds of exporters.
Former Minister, Attorney at Law Chandra Ranatunga says that all party members who cast their vote against the extension of the UMP leader's tenure at the party convention will go down in history as courageous UMP members. He points out that dubious mechanisms are being employed in order to extend the leadership tenure at the upcoming convention.
We have no way of believing that this party can be made victorious again under this leader. We know that he is now employing dubious schemes to extend his one-year leadership term to 6 years. He is attempting to bring a few of his henchmen to the party convention to be held on the 1st of December and extend his tenure through their vote. Go to that convention, think long and hard about this matter and use your vote against this measure to extend the current leader's term. If you cast your vote and prevent the extension of the leadership tenure, then there is no doubt whatsoever that you will all go down in history as courageous members who protected the UNP.
ආරක්ෂා කරගත් සමාජිකයන් ලසෙන් ඉතිහාසයට ඉත්වෙනවාට කිසිම සැකයක් නැත.
Racing car. මට මේ වේගය ගැන කියනකොට මතක් වුණේ racing car.
When I was told about speed, what came to my mind were racing cars. There may be some in the UNP who expect to have racing cars on the 1st of December at the UNP convention. Ranil Wickramasinghe is probably expecting to get into a racing car and beat the other group who are walking to defeat him.
Racing car එක නැගලා ගිහිල්ලා හරි පයින් ගින් එතුමා පරද්දන්න හදන අනිත් කට්ටිය පරාජය කරන්න.
රනිල් වික්‍රමසිංහ මැතිතුමා කල්පනා කළා යකෝ මමත් ව්‍යවස්ථාව සංශෝධනය කරගන්න ඕනේ.
Ranil Wickramasinghe thought to himself, what the devil, I must amend the constitution too. He thought that if elections were held every year, then there is a chance of things going awry for him. So what he has done is change the constitution to extend the leadership tenure by 6 years. This is our amazing politics. He gathered a few henchmen and passed a proposal to the working committee to amend the constitution so that he can remain opposition leader for another 6 years.
ව්‍යවස්ථාවේ ඡේදනයක් වෙනස් කළා තමන්ගේ ගෝල බාලය හිතොත්තු ටිකක් එකතු කරගෙන කෘත්‍යාධිකාරී මණ්ඩලයෙන් සම්මත කරගෙන අවුරුදු 6ක්ම විපක්ෂ නායකකමේ ඉන්න ඕනි කියලා එතුමා තීන්දුව කළා.
Speaking at a media briefing today, United National Party Deputy Leader Sajith Premadasa charged that the government's promise to implement the Professor Senaka Bibile national drug policy has been limited to mere words for the past 7 years.
මොකද්ද මේ සේනක බිබිලේ ජාතික ඖෂධ ප්‍රතිපත්තිය කියන්නේ මොකක්ද? සහන මිලකට ගුණාත්මක භාවයෙන්.
What is the Senaka Bibile national drug policy? It is to provide the people of this country quality medication at a reasonable price. It was back in 2005 that this government promised to implement the Senaka Bibile national drug policy. This government and its representatives have continuously said that the Senaka Bibile national drug policy is universally accepted and it will be implemented in this country. But so far, this implementation has been limited to words.
සේනක බිබිලේ ජාතික ඖෂධ ප්‍රතිපත්තිය වැදගත්.
The 12th International Conference and General Assembly of the Forum for Ethical Review Committees in Asia and the Western Pacific, or FERCAP, which commenced in Colombo on the 18th of this month, will conclude tomorrow. The conference is being hosted and co-organized by the Sri Lanka Medical Association and the University of Colombo.
The theme of the conference is Development, Ethnicity, Culture and Ethical Health Research. Representatives from international health organizations, researchers, research participants, academic institutions and representatives of the pharmaceutical industry are among those participating at this year's conference.
In the beginning, there was a question on what is the difference between accreditation as a national system and the survey that's being done by FERCAP. The differentiation is really that accreditation is official and therefore must really be owned by the nation and therefore must be promoted by the national government. Whereas the survey being done by FERCAP is a quality assurance. It's a standard setting and therefore it's like a good housekeeping seal for ethics review committees.